We're learning more tonight about the damage Hurricane Matthew has caused in parts of Florida, and hear from a Kentucky native who's worried about his home in South Carolina.
They could have easily killed me with the big of a rock that they had.
Many drivers in Jessamine County say someone has been throwing rocks at their cars. Now police have a warning. Donald Trump issuing an apology tonight for something he was caught on tape saying more than a decade ago.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good evening to you. A scare at a Lexington hotel tonight when a fire started inside the building. It happened around 10 tonight at the Clarion Hotel on 8th and Boonesboro Road near Interstate 75. This is a live picture now from that scene. Firefighters say the fire started around the pool and fitness area, but the sprinkler system kept it from spreading too far. The fire is now out, and firefighters say it caused minimal damage to the building. The hotel was evacuated, but guests have been allowed back inside. No one was injured. Firefighters aren't sure yet what caused that fire. Conditions in most of Florida are improving tonight as Hurricane Matthew slowly moves up the Atlantic coast, but the storm now has its sights set on Georgia and the Carolinas. For the very latest on the track, we begin tonight with WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell and your no-wait weather forecast. Jim?
And it's still churning out there, and the new update just coming out within the past couple of minutes now have it down to 105 miles per hour for the maximum sustained winds embedded within that eye core around it. So generally right in this area here, but again, weaker than it was earlier today and weaker than the last update. It was at 110. Still moving north at around 12 miles per hour. It had a little bit of an easterly jog along the way, but still moving generally to the north. Here's what we've got currently, and it's about 100 miles from Charleston. So it's also about 55 miles from Savannah. So Savannah really seeing those winds increase and the heavy bands of rain because they're only 55 miles out. So they're getting in on some tough winds, probably coming in anywhere from 50 to 75 miles per hour, easily getting in on some of those. But of course, right there at the core, much worse, which could likely, if it makes landfall, could be making landfall right in parts of South Carolina. Here's the new track. It's an updated version of it, too. Keeping it mainly out to sea, just hugging the coast, but the margin of error still includes the coast, so there could be a true, by definition, landfall with it as well. We'll track it, and I'll show you one of the new hour-by-hour models. It just updated this hour, so we'll see exactly what it's projecting as well. Coming up in just a few minutes.
We'll see you then, Jim. Thank you. Tonight, authorities in Florida are blaming 4 deaths on Hurricane Matthew, and they say it could take days to restore power in parts of the state. Don Champion has a look at some of the damage the storm has caused in tonight's top story.
Hurricane Matthew is lashing the southeast, bringing heavy rain, vicious winds, and severe flooding to Florida. As it makes its way northward, more than 1 million people in central Florida and along its Atlantic coast are without power as Matthew's fierce winds bring down trees and power lines.
My buddy, right in front of his house, the power line came and fell right in front of his house, so he can't even come out of his house right now.
In St. Augustine, a turbulent river of floodwater trapped 20 people, including children, inside a bed and breakfast. This is the view from inside the B&B as frightened guests watched the water rush by outside.
Here we go.
In Ordwin Beach, a pane of glass kept the floodwater out while these inside wondered how long it would hold. Florida's governor says some gas stations here have shortages but are being refueled.
The current fuel supply in the state will last at least 5 days if no port is open.
In Titusville, tenants were forced out of this apartment building damaged by the hurricane. In Charleston, South Carolina, conditions there are predicted to worsen as the night goes on and Matthew moves up the East Coast.
The best thing now is to just hunker down. Stay in a safe place, don't move, don't try and move around.
In Savannah, Georgia, police shut down historic River Street because of flooding brought on by the most powerful hurricane to strike the country in more than a decade. Don Champion, CBS News, Daytona Beach, Florida.
People in South Carolina are now bracing for the storm. The state's governor ordered hundreds of thousands of people in coastal areas to move inland. A Winchester native who now lives in Hilton Head is among those who evacuated, and he's worried about what he may see when he returns to the coast. Monique Blair is at the live desk for us with more. Monique?
Good evening, Amber. Hurricane Matthew has not hit the South Carolina coast yet, but many people who live near the coast have already left, as they have been told to do, including a college student I talked to who just moved away from his hometown of Winchester a little more than a year ago. He says this is nothing like anything he's ever experienced.
Being from a small town in Kentucky, this is a big change. And
Ross Todd's home is now in Hilton Head, a home that is very close to the beach.
well, it's about 200 yards away from the sand.
Once the mandatory evacuation in Hilton Head was announced Wednesday, Todd piled some of his valuables onto his bed, he says, just in case there was some flooding. And then he grabbed about 4 days worth of clothing and then headed to a family member's house about 2 hours inland. But now, Todd says he wishes he would have brought more of his personal belongings with him.
Now that I see what I'm seeing, and if I was more prepared, I would have grabbed everything I could, whatever I could have fit in my truck, and I would have got out of there. Looking back, I'm kind of upset that I didn't grab everything that I could, but I'm just hoping and praying for the best.
And for now, it's really just about that, hoping and praying his home is not affected.
There's really nothing that I will know of until I pull up my driveway and just see it, and that scares me. This is not a joke. This is devastating.
Now, Todd says something he has never witnessed before were the gas lines. He says he thinks people waited for hours just to fill up. Todd says he doesn't expect he'll get back home until Tuesday. At the live desk, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Monique, thank you for the very latest updates on the storm. Keep checking our website, WKYT.com, and the WKYT News app. New tonight, UK police have issued a crime bulletin after some racially motivated harassment on campus. A female student said she was walking on Huglet Avenue late last night when two men in a silver car drove by, threw water on her, and made a derogatory racial slur. Police say other students said the same men also threw water on them earlier in the night. UK police released this surveillance picture showing the car they say the men were in. They have not made any arrests. New tonight, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump is on the defense after a leaked video shows him using sexually charged language about women.
Hey, when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Other comments on the video were more lewd and vulgar. They were caught on a hot microphone during a conversation Trump had with former Access Hollywood host Billy Bush in 2005. Trump apologized for the comments tonight, calling them locker room banter. In a tweet, Hillary Clinton called the comments, quote, horrific. Police want it to stop before someone gets hurt. Tonight, they're trying to find the person who's been throwing rocks at cars in Jessamine County. The Jessamine County Sheriff's Office says at least 8 cars have been hit by large rocks this week along US 27 near the Kentucky River Bridge. New at 11, Sabir Rayford talks to a woman who says one of the...
I've been in the Sheriff's Department 27 years, and I don't think we've had any kind of incidents like this before.
The Jessamine County Sheriff's Office has upped their patrols on US 27 at Kentucky River Bridge, and this time it's not to catch people speeding.
To be careful as they travel this area, to keep their eyes open, and to see any suspicious activity, to call us.
Deputy Alan Pill tells us they've received 8 reports from people saying a man threw a rock around this size at them while traveling down US 27.
I guess whenever they threw the rock, it initially hit there, and then it came up and hit here, and it tore the door handle off.
Katie Nipper says she was on her way home from work traveling along US 27 when a loud noise startled her.
I thought maybe I'd hit a deer or something.
She kept driving to get to a safe place, and when she checked her car, she realized her door was dented and the handle was missing.
We ran into a couple people that said that they had been getting rocks thrown at their cars. People had windshields busted. So I talked to a sheriff and we made a report today.
Deputy Peel says Nipper is not alone. Several people whose cars were hit also made reports. He says the sheriff's office is working hard to figure out who is behind these attacks.
Vehicles traveling this road at 55 to 60 miles an hour being struck by a rock through the windshield is very disturbing and distracting.
Pill says no one was injured in the attacks, and the only description they have is of a man in an all-white outfit. In Jessamine County, Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
Investigators say most of the drivers were heading northbound when their cars were hit. New tonight, a child had to be rushed to the hospital after a crash in Madison County. It happened on northbound Interstate 75 around exit 83 near Richmond. Police say a car ran off the road, down an embankment, and flipped. They say a child in the car was taken to Kentucky Children's Hospital, but the child's condition is not known. Police aren't sure what caused that crash.
And we are tracking the very latest on Hurricane Matthew, moving right along the East Coast here tonight. Some impact around here with a few showers. I'll break it all down coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
We've had very pleasant weather here the past few days. Warm, very warm for this time of year, as a matter of fact. But along the East Coast, we are still watching Matthew. And Matthew will impact our weather to a certain degree. It has already. Let's get right to it so you can see what we're talking about with Matthew. It's a Category 2 storm, down from 110 miles per hour with the earlier update, the 8 o'clock update that came in. So it's weakened some. And it will continue to do so because what it's starting to run into, and we were talking about this earlier in the day, is it's starting to interact more with Georgia and South Carolina, the mainland, and that is starting to take some of that spin out of it. It's trying to drop some of its intensity. So 105 mile per hour winds. Here's what we've got. As I mentioned earlier, you can see it's about 100 miles or so, give or take, from Charleston right now, and it's still moving off toward the north at around 12 miles per hour. But it's still expected to take that cut and turn back. Here is our updated hour-by-hour high-resolution radar. Now, this takes us into the future. It's a model. So here you see the eye wall itself. We go rolling into 4 o'clock in the morning. There you see the wall almost trying to get into Georgia there around Savannah, but then it starts to jog back out toward the east and then hug the coast all the way up to around Charleston and beyond. So there's certainly a lot of rain, but we're getting that eye wall very close. And if you can get it that close, you're going to feel the direct impact of the eye itself, which is where you're going to find the most harsh winds associated with a tropical system like this, and gets up to around Myrtle Beach as well. And it's also feeding moisture to the north, getting into parts of eastern Kentucky. Some of the rainfall projections coming out, the latest runs, 10, 15, maybe even higher amounts, certainly closer to the coast, and then lesser amounts. And by lesser, I'm talking 6 to 10 inches, which would be just absolutely terrible. So you have a lot of rain coming in. You got the storm surge along the coast to deal with. Here in Kentucky, that moisture directly associated with the low as it's feeding it all in and spinning it up toward us. We have a frontal boundary that's going to help deflect our system out there, and also going to change things up for us as well. Barely has a cloud cover with it as far south as Kentucky. So early on this week, it looked like it might have enough moisture to bring a few showers. Not the case anymore. So as it continues to work its way through the area, you can see what's behind it. A lot of cold temperatures out there, 40s, 30s, 50s, and it's coming for us as we head through the overnight hours. There you see the clouds even thinning out. A little bit of rain into eastern Kentucky during parts of your Saturday, and then we get into Saturday night going into Sunday morning. The cooler air really starts to take hold and really shows up throughout the entire area. You can see it here in the 7-day as well. I'm going to keep that small chance of rain mention alive for Saturday. And that's mainly for, I think, eastern Kentucky. I think the frontal boundary itself will have pretty well a dry passage. And then you see the very comfortable stuff that lingers through the week there. So a lot happening in the world of weather.
Another long night for people along the coast there as this storm comes through, but it has downgraded, and that's good news for everybody.
That is fantastic news, because that also could take the storm surge down. That can, it's still going to bring a lot of rain, but could bring the storm surge down because you need the stronger winds to drive more of the water in. So again, it is a good thing.
And a good weekend here for us.
Absolutely.
Jim,
perfect.
Thank you. All right, Brian, Lee K, they're up next with tonight's high school football highlights and game time.
Hey, look who's back this Friday. That guy. Welcome into another high school game time. I'm Brian Milam. We welcome back Lee K. Howard, proud father of a week-old little girl.
That's right, Brian. Always glad to be back with you.
Uncle Brian's here.
Yeah, thanks. Glad to be back. Mom Kristen, by the way, baby Maggie, they're doing great tonight. Anxious to see some football highlights, as you are. So let's get things going. And we start tonight with the district matchup over in Georgetown. Scott County has won 7 straight over Henry Clay, dating back to 2010. And really, the games haven't been that close. The Cards have outscored the Blue Devils on average 56-24. 2010 was also the last season that Jim McKee lost more than twice in a season. The Cards are 4-2 this season. It's our game of the week. Montavian Bean has Henry Clay on the move in the third quarter, but his pass gets Cooper robbed. That's Cardinals ball, courtesy of Cooper Robb. Look at Josh Davis and Glenn Covington hooking up on the timing pattern here. Big gain leads to this Kendrick Hamilton touchdown, and the Cards did it again on the very next Henry Clay possession. A pick followed by another Hamilton touchdown. He's in for 6 more. All Scott County tonight, 56-7 the final there.
Let's go to Winchester now, where Clark County is just a year and a half removed from a 5-win season. Since then, the Cards have just 1 win in the past 16 games. Lafayette trying to make it back to a 6A state title tilt. The Generals have won 6 in a row over the Redbirds. This game, however, was over early before some people got their seat warm. The handoff will go to Cameron Morgan. He will run right and then will run out of room. And now he's going to head back the other way. This officially will be a 37-yard run, more like 83, 93 yards total. Clark County gets the ball, then bad snap. The Generals' Desmond Simpson picks it up, and he's got a convoy, and they're pushing. Touchdown. It's 40-0 at the half. And the Generals hold on, 43-0.
Western Hills off to its best start since 2008, hosting Lexington Catholic, which has dropped 5 of their first 6. Running clock, 41-0 Catholic already in the second. Jalen Youngblood, that's a deep pass, but Jake Topley is there for the interception. 41-0 at the half. Third quarter, Youngblood again. This pass tipped and picked off by Brock Hudgens. Hope you started the defense in the Fantasy High School Football League tonight. Wolves get on the board late in the fourth. It's Evan Haynes from a yard out, and Catholic picks up their 2nd win of the year, 41-7.
LCA 6-0 for the first time in school history, hosting my man Zach Massengill's Middlesboro Yellow Jackets. LCA's first possession. Logan Deves looks right. It's Caleb LeBrick, and he is LeBrick house. Gone. 8-zip birds. Then the Eagles give it to Dylan Wheatley. 8-yard TD run. 4 of those to go with 176 yards. Let's make it 21-0. LCA improves to 7-0, 49-6.
Big district matchup in Danville tonight. Danville and Somerset. The Ads have won the previous 3 meetings. Second half, Somerset on the ground. Jordan Doan, he'll take it to the house. There he goes. He even outruns the camera. 13-7. Danville will also go to the ground game. Don Levy-Harris, huge gain on the inside. That's down to the 20. Zach Dampier. Then to David Walker coming up. This is a spoiler alert here. Here's Dampier, and here's David Walker on the slant going into the end zone. Just stretches across there. The Admirals make it 4 in a row over the Rivals, 49-6.
Couple of 5A teams squaring off in district matchup. Anderson County, Woodford County late in the second. Anderson with the ball at a 10-7 lead. Tyler Peters connects to KJ Sunbaum. His nickname is SPF on a big 3rd down conversion, but it would lead to no points. Later in the second, remaining just a few seconds left. Peters tries to extend it here. Dwayne Depp, he's a speedster. He says not going to have it. Low scoring game. Anderson County will squeak it out, 10-7.
Madison Southern was looking to get back on the winning track. We'll have those highlights and many more next on Game Time.
Hard to believe, but the high school season flying by. Just 3 weeks left in the regular season already.
Yeah, that is hard to believe. A big night, though, for district games tonight. Let's check in with another one from the 5A ranks. Madison Southern started the season off with a bang, running out to 4 straight wins before running into Tates Creek in Pulaski County. The Eagles trying to snap that 2-game skid against Montgomery County tonight. The Indians, by the way, just 1 win on the season. Just before the half, Madison Southern knocking on the doorstep, and Justice Williams is busting through the front door. 21-7 Eagles at the half. In the third, Montgomery County with the ball. Alex Harvey is hit, and the ball is popped loose. Madison Southern's Hunter Richardson scoops it up He's going the other way for the score. That made it 28-7. Madison Southern gets back into the win column with a 49-7 win.
Yancey Markham and his West Jessamine Colts 1-1 on the season in district play. The Colts tonight with a chance to pick up another district W, but it would have to come on the road at Mercer County. David Buchanan's squad is in the same boat, trying to get a game above 500 in district play. Huge crowd. Please, gentlemen, put your shirts back on. It's a family show. Mercer's Gunnar Gillis dumps it off to Tanner Robbins, who tries to break free, but West Jess's Nick Lee pops the ball loose. A Colts recovery. A little later on, it's Colts QB Marcus Jones looking downfield. Only finds Mercer's Seth Tatum, no relation to the great Jack Tatum. Makes a reception for the other team and gets some good yards to go with it. Mercer County ends up winning it on senior night, 35-21.
Boyle County has won 3 straight tonight. They host Garrett County. The Lions have won 2 in a row as well. The Rebels' Landon Bartleson gets Boyle on the board first with this run to the far side, and he's in for the touchdown. Boyle County would get up 14-0 here. Sam Tiller to Reese Smith on the swing pass. Finds a little crease there and gets in for the score. And back come the Golden Lions. Connor Isaacs rears back.
Let her fly.
See ya. Devin Logan makes a great grab in the end zone. This game was tied at 14, but Garrett County never scored again. Boyle, they did. 47-14 the final there.
Back to the capital city, Franklin County trying to end a 4-game skid hosting Spencer County. Suddenly a 4A power. Second play of scrimmage. Franklin County's Dalton Landrum with the reverse to Jeremiah Green. Weaves his way, and nobody's going to get him. 65 yards, 7-0 for the Bird Gang. Spencer County would come right back to tie it up. Franklin gets another big play. Denzel Vance. This one a gain of 22. Franklin County with a big win tonight. 48-35 your final.
Across town, it's Frankfort hosting Eminence. The Panthers already up 29-8 in the second quarter. Holt Hammonds, the swing pass. Jevin Bush, not related to the Bush family of the Georges. He turns upfield, goes untouched, 30 yards for the score. It's 35-8. Actually, I don't know that.
Michael Bush?
He may be. Yeah. Then before the half, Will Bowen takes the short pass, turns it into 6. 21 yards on the play. Panthers rolling, and Frankfort blanks Eminence tonight. 42-0. And how about this in London tonight? It's South Laurel hosting Southwestern, and Warriors' Larry French closing in on win number 300, just 3 wins away. Warriors got the ball first, and on the second play from scrimmage, William Lemon finds the crease, goes 20 yards for the touchdown. 7-0 Western. Yes, next Warriors possession just takes 1 play to score. This time, once again, it's Lemon making lemonade, taking it in for the score. Southwestern rolls to a 62-20. Iced tea. That's lemonade. 298 wins now for Coach French.
Over to Paris Greyhounds trying to knock Nicholas County from the ranks of the unbeaten. Second quarter, Paris takes the lead. Aaron Maggard. Bullet to Eric Johnson. 19-14 Hounds. Jackets come back. Zach Richardson. Easy touchdown with 3 minutes left in the half. 22-19 Jackets. The Hounds are in a hurry the other way. Maggard up top to his favorite receiver, Jacoby Wells. Paris in business. Matthew Barber takes it in. 27-22. And now in the third, the Jackets grounded pound. Richardson, what a night for this young man. 274 yards. Nicholas County, they're 8-0, 35-27. The Cats trying to get some revenge tomorrow against Vandy. We'll talk about it next. The Cats are at home tomorrow to take on Vandy, and UK favored to win for the 3rd time this season. That would get them halfway to being bowl eligible. Kentucky has lost 4 of the last 5 to Vandy, including last year's bitter 21-17 setback in Nashville. Mark Stoops says that game should be and could be used as motivation.
Maybe a little. I mean, we don't talk about it much. I mean, I referenced it because somebody asked me a question about it. So I'd be lying if I didn't say it didn't bother me. But all losses do. So. We're not going to beat a dead horse. We're worried about this year, but certainly, if you want to use it as motivation, go ahead.
And they will use it as motivation. Vandy and Kentucky, it's a 4 o'clock kickoff tomorrow on the SEC Network. Thanks for joining us once again. We'll see you next time.
Have a good night.